Hello friendlings, this is Claude from Chicago, and today we are working on the centerpiece of Fred's Wonderworld in this beautiful time-lapse video. I did say in the past that I didn't like doing these first-person time-lapse videos, but I definitely changed my mind after watching all these beautiful Planet Coaster people build stuff, and I mean, it's quite, especially from this angle, it's beautiful. I mean, it's absolutely beautiful. If you're new to the channel, all the Discord and social information is in the description, as well as every Planet Coaster stream, video, or time-lapse is also in the description, so feel free to check it out. Now, if you're new to the channel and you're just tuning in, this is my first castle build ever in Planet Coaster. At the time of building this, we were about 150 hours played just on this world. And I mean, the castle turns out really, really well. Really, really well. We'll talk a little bit more about the castle, but I want to talk about how this park has impacted me personally, and we'll go from there. But we are building a castle today, just to get everyone clear. So the Fred's Wonderworld is a Magic Kingdom build for people that were confused. We have 4 sections of the park. Our first section, sci-fi. Our second section, pirate. Third section, fantasy / Renaissance, and our fourth section, which is just more of the midway between the sci-fi and fantasy. But I really wanted this castle to be just like the Magic Kingdom, and I've been watching so many videos, and I made even a little tunnel there, which I think really turned out very well. I wanted to do some more stuff in there, but I mean, it's so disappointing. I mean, the reason why it's so disappointing is I really wish I did this at the beginning of the park, because, I mean, I really wanted to do a lot more detail on this. I did spend 12 hours that I did compress. You won't see all the footage here. Definitely going to trim some of this out, but I really wish I did this at the beginning. So with the next park that we do, we are going to do the centerpiece at the beginning of the park so that we can detail it and improve it as we go. And I won't talk about too much about what we're going to be doing for the next park. I want to kind of keep that a little bit of a surprise. But I'm going to put a straw poll in the final stream this Sunday where we're going to be doing a full walkthrough. And I will trim that down, of course, post, so you guys can just see the walkthrough. But I really want to... I really want to do a walkthrough, and I will have a straw poll asking you guys which park should we do next. A movie themed, like MGM, or what's it called now, Disney Studios. Yeah, Disney Studios. Or do a World Showcase, which is like Epcot, but instead of being just like Epcot, where it's, I mean, Epcot's not just food. There are some other attractions you can do. But I really want to, instead of doing that, I want to do coasters that are themed to history. I know Simon would definitely be greatly appreciative of that one. I know that's where his vote's going. But, yeah, so if you guys want to, I'll put that straw poll in my Discord, so that's in the description, as well as during the stream on Sunday. And then from there, we will start our next park. If anybody wanted to download this park in the future, it will be linked into the future in the description here. So you could download this. But right now, we are terraining out this castle area. Now, Disney Castle, I think, is at the same level as the park, but I did not want to do that. So I built it up on this hill. And I really wanted this beautiful little lake here. Obviously, I mean, water works like that. It's definitely didn't flood the tunnel. Don't look, guys. But I really wanted to have a nice water here because I would give that beautiful reflection, especially when it's lit up at nighttime. I really think the castle will look really nice off of there. You don't see it in this video, but I might show it in the glamour shots at the end because I have not recorded the glamour shots yet of this. But what we are doing here is we are building the outline. So I, of course, for people that are not new to the channel, I really like history so much. So, I mean, this is more of a realistic castle with the use of a Disney castle as well. And I don't know if anybody's guessed the style. I mean, really, you can't guess the style. But here we go. The style of this building is the Game of Thrones Red Keep in King's Landing. Now, if you've ever seen Game of Thrones, you know exactly what I'm talking about. I mean, it kind of looks like it. I mean, it's not an exact replica because I spent a lot of time on this, but I really wish that's what I was saying. I really wish I kind of did this before, because I mean, like I said, I think I spent about 12 hours just doing this, and then the fireworks, which you'll see on Saturday night. Where was it? Oh, yes. Yeah, I did spend a bunch of time on it, but I mean, I didn't... If I done this at the beginning of the series, we could have definitely came back, and you guys could have definitely told me what looks nasty and what doesn't look nasty. So, it is what it is. I still think it turned out really, really good, the red keep. It is not going to be red when we start working on that, but we'll talk about that in about 20 minutes from now. So right now, I am working on the entrance gate thing, because you kind of walk through these things in Disney, and I really wanted to try to recreate that. And with the building aspect of this game, it is quite glitchy sometimes with building on grids. You have to build multiple building pieces and putting them together, as you can clearly see me doing here. And even though that this was not connected to that other building, it still was not letting me pull it down. I don't know. I do not understand why. But I decided to do something a little bit different here, and I'm just grabbing some free placing stone pieces here and putting it together. We are using the castle stones because the castle stone is very reminiscent of the Disney castle as well as the Game of Thrones castle. The Game of Thrones castle does change throughout the series. I mean, of course, if you're not a big fan, like if you've never watched Game of Thrones, you probably would never really notice. But I mean, it has changed quite a bit, just slightly. The Game of Thrones, I love Game of Thrones, so, I mean, it was such a great series, and I really wanted to do this here. I did not see anybody do this on Planet Coaster. Does not mean somebody hasn't done it. So, I'm not saying that I was the first person to do this. This is my take on it. But the Red Keep was the main castle in Game of Thrones for people that did not or do not know, and the main household lived there, the Lannister household, which was the faction that I enjoyed rooting for in the series. The Lannisters ran the castle, and they named it, I think it was already called the Red Keep. I mean, I don't know. Long story short, it's just a Red Keep, and it is red. But these are the main entrance here, and I did not want to make these red because I didn't really want it to stand out that much. I really want the castle to stand out. These are just the walls surrounding it in. So, once again, I'm trying to make this a general realistic castle to both the Game of Thrones as well as in Planet Coaster. So there is going to be big walls around the outside of the castle, and then on the inside, the keep, which is the main castle, will be on top of the hill, showing and overlooking the park. Which I think, I mean, it looks so much better. I know you guys won't see how great it looks. I mean, maybe I will, because in the glamour shots I'll have the lights on, but yeah, so here we're just making this main entrance, and it's looking good. I'm just using a variety of the free placing pieces for the castle, and it is quite difficult because there's not that many of them. So you kind of have to use you got to use stuff for stuff that it's not supposed to be used for. Like, for example, this was supposed to be a balcony, and I turned it upside down to give it this sort of loop-de-loop shape. And this is a trim piece that I'm using. I mean, as a trim, I guess in the same sense. Just, I mean, I love Planet Coaster so much. It's just like Minecraft. I mean, it's not the same as Minecraft, but I mean, it's really just fact of like Minecraft-esque of trying to fit stuff where it's not supposed to go and making stuff look like it's not supposed to be. I mean, anybody that has watched Planet Coaster ever on anybody else's channel, on the big channels, I mean, it's absolutely crazy. I mean, I don't know how people do this. Now, before we do start our next park, I do want to note that I do want to wait for some of the DLCs to go on sale, or we can start playing and then download some of the DLCs as we go. But I do want to get, I'm probably going to end up buying all the DLCs, I mean, on the next Steam up sale for this, because I mean, they're quite expensive. I mean, I'm willing to save like 20 bucks or whatever by doing it. It's going to be quite expensive, but I mean, this DLC, I mean, I played this game so much. I mean, this is gonna be a huge channel, and I hope it's a huge channel, but I mean, this is gonna be a huge series on our channel. So I really want to have all of the DLCs so we can go through, or maybe I will be conservative here and buy only a couple DLCs as we go, and then for our next part, you know, just kind of struggle through like this, because this park we only used the Studios DLC as well as World Showcase. That's where I get in the World Showcase thing. By the way, we live stream every day on this channel or have a video uploaded. I've been quite busy with school and with this whole Corona thing. Now I can't monetize this video ever. But I've been quite busy with school, so I wasn't able to do some stuff on Monday, but we are here giving you a longer video today. Here, I made a little short template of these buildings, or these walls, and it did turn out quite well. Just the problem is, they're all different building pieces, which is fine. I'm not really complaining about that. I mean, I think it turned out well. You guys tell me how these walls turn. I do have to make it, like, go on a slight slant here, kind of going up. I mean, it does look realistic. It does look a little bit weird, but that's why the next park we're building the main jewel first, so then we can, you know, come back and fix it up, or I can come back and fix it up off stream or off camera, because I'm not saying that I rushed this video. This has been about 2 weeks of work. I mean, or no, it's only been about 1 week of work. Yeah, I'm recording it. Whatever. I mean, I really wish I spent a little bit more time working on this than I did. But it is turning out quite well, and these walls are looking really good. And the main reason why I'm using a bunch of these walls here is that I want to keep most of the blocking here. Now, we didn't really spend too much time on building a backstage area, which is another thing we're going to spend a lot of time on the next park, doing a backstage area. But realistically, between the sci-fi, that plaster, what's it called? That plaster stone there. I mean, it would look real stone, but it's technically like plastic or whatever. But like right there, you see a little gap. So I cut out a little bit of the wall building. I mean, that was quite repetitive, so I didn't want to spend too much time doing that. This is a little bit laggy because I was recording in a different program. I was running this off of my graphics card, as you can clearly tell. Never gonna record like this again, so you can just see it jumping around here. I'm so sorry about this. So it's gonna cut ahead. But what I'm doing here, just to briefly show you, like, this little slideshow thing, oh my god, it was terrible. I didn't even notice what was going on during the recording. It was fine, and then when I got to the castle part, it just broke. But what I'm doing here is everything here just gets deleted. But I'm going to build the base of the tower. I'm going to add in sort of a cathedral style thing, which would be the throne room, and I'll talk about that a little bit in a second. So I'm so sorry that messed up, and I just realized right here that I was not too happy. And I couldn't go back, and I was always giving people a hard time, saying there's no way you could just lose footage. I mean, it happens. I can understand. I'm sorry for saying that in the past. But what we're doing here is, this is not a cathedral. That is the throne room from the Game of Thrones, and I really wanted to do this, but I did not get the chance to do it. But I really wanted to make it seeable when you go through the tunnel. Obviously, the guests wouldn't know you're not actually up at the height up there, but I wanted to dig it in a little bit with, like, Fred sitting on a throne. But that's why we're going to be working on the centerpiece at the beginning. But we are going straight up here, and we are going to make our second tier of this castle. It is called the Red Keep, and I did not really want to make it red like it was in the show, because I really want this is not an exact replica, by the way. This is a inspiration. So I really wanted to I was so inspired by Game of Thrones. I mean, it's just such a great show. But I wanted to make the building white. Disney has a light pink. I think it's a peach color at the Magic Kingdom. So I wanted to do a white, and the main reason why I wanted to do a white is because when I put some lights underneath this, it's just gonna glow. That's really the main reason why I use white and red here, just so it to glow. I mean, the majority of it is white, but I just really want it to glow. I don't know during the day. I'm pretty sure the lights wouldn't affect it too much. Obviously, in the game, the lights don't actually work in the day. But that's what I was going for, is to kind of get this, you know, really well lit up at nighttime, especially for our fireworks show, which we'll be talking about a little bit more in a second. But we're just going to be completing the roof here, and we are just kind of touching it up. I did try the experiment with changing a little bit of the colors, because I did think it was too similar, but I feel like it does. The best time to view this castle is, I mean, at nighttime. Now, I don't know if I showed in the video. Yeah, here we go. I'm looking at it from different angles just to make sure you can see it. But we'll go through. We'll look at this. We'll look at this during the walkthrough on Sunday. But you could see this castle from everywhere in the park, which is absolutely beautiful. You can see it from the pirate area, the sci-fi area, the fantasy area, and you can actually see it from the hotel. You can actually see the top of it, which, I mean, it is so awesome. And that little tower there that's waiting, that's going to be added on top. I do not show that on video. That was the first thing that we built. That will be on top. So that will be used. And these little things here, I'm just kind of experimenting, seeing what style this is, just to break it up, because it looks like just a plain wall. And I mean, it doesn't look as great as I think, and I will add a little section there. But we do use forced perspective on this building. This building is quite tall. I know people complain about, you know, seeing it from the sky, but remember, if we were here at the park today, we would only see this as from a person's perspective. And this building is, this building looks tall, especially sitting on this hill but we're using these little windows here to kind of show that this building is really taller than it is. If you want to size this building up compared to anything, this is the exact same height as the sci-fi building, the exact same height as our Pirate of the Caribbean, our pirate ride. It is the exact same height as well as our launch coaster. They are all the same height. They are all the same height as this. I mean, it is still just a large building. But obviously, with it being on the hill, it looks like it's a lot taller. And me using these really, really small windows really shows that this building looks like huge, especially if you're looking up at it, which we'll be taking a look at it later. It's still it's still a tall building. It is, I think it's like 8 or 9 building blocks. Maybe it's a little bit less. I didn't really count. Here is the second addition to this place here. I mean, this really needed to be done to break up the building style of this, because it just looked too similar, looked too small, and obviously it's unsymmetrical here. We'll be fixing that about 3 seconds from now. And I mean, regardless, this castle still turned out really well. I mean, it looks so nice, and with the lights on it, it glows. Now we're gonna be doing a little bit of detailing. Obviously, I use some blocking here to kind of keep people's eyes, you know, going through. And I'm flattening out this terrain here. I'm going to decide to delete some of that, but I don't know exactly where this goes. Oh yes. Oh. This here. I mean, I completely forgot to do this, and this is another reason. I mean, this is just a quick, simple solution to getting this fixed and making it look nice, but I really wish I spent a little bit more time on it. I mean, it still looks nice, but I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm beating myself up. You guys let me know in the comment section below. Does it look nice, or does this look like just yeets it together like Fred's Wonder World is so known to be? But we're I'm just fixing these little things here. That center wall there going up to the castle. Do I delete that? No, I don't remember if I delete that now. I mean, I only spent about the fireworks show took a lot longer to do than this. I mean, I can't remember. We'll find out. We'll find out during the fireworks show. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I delete that. Yeah, that wall there that's splitting it, like the second walkthrough. But this here, I was exactly thinking about Zach Daily Games, because I was watching his stream. I always watch his stream when I'm doing this. I just listen to it. And what we're doing here is they're doing a flower bed. Most of these big parks, especially when you come into the Magic Kingdom, I think at both locations, in Anaheim and Magic Kingdom. I've never been to Anaheim one, and I've only been to the Magic Kingdom one. But in Orlando, this may be done as well in the European ones too. I'm not entirely sure. But there's a lot of Disney parks. I mean, I've only been really researching the American ones, so because that's the only one I have. I mean, we can definitely do European parks as well, but we're probably going to do the ones in Orlando first, and then maybe we'll head into the I mean, this Planet Coaster is going to be a long series, but what I wanted to do here is, because of Zach loves his flowers. I mean, he always is on me for not doing flowers. I mean, this park should definitely have a lot more flowers, but when you come into the Disney parks, you always see like a Mickey Mouse or something spelt out when you originally walk in, and I didn't do that here, But I did still want to keep that vibe here. So when you go through the castle and you're coming here, you will see the Fred's Wonderworld spelt out in these beautiful flower bushes. I mean, it's so nice that you could recolor these flower bushes here. I mean, it really adds so much. So I'm just lighting them up here. It's such an, I mean, Fred's Wonderworld is just an iconic thing. So this would be like just the, I mean, it's just a flex. I mean, there's no real, I mean, it's advertisement. I mean, like just having flowers, just like, you know, spelling out something, that's a flex, my guys. That is a flex. I would agree if I do agree, or I do say so myself. But I wanted to add a little bit of water here, to kind of give some sort of depth here, make it look a little bit more nicer. Could have made that a little bit better. Once again, I mean, maybe I'm just beating myself up. I don't know. I do want to do some blocking here with some scenery with these beech trees. No, ash trees. A-S-H. Yes, ash trees. And some oak trees and some sycamores that kind of give some blocking. Like I was saying before I cut myself off earlier, I really wish I did more backstage, and behind these trees would be like the fireworks displays and all that sort of stuff. Obviously, for the fireworks display you'll see on Saturday and the behind the scenes on Sunday with the walkthrough, we didn't put the fireworks there, but realistically they would be placed right about there. This side I didn't really want to do anything. I think the real eye-seer thing there is the Fred Wonderworld sign. Here I'm doing a little bit of tree work against the wall because the wall looks really, really similar. And I did not want it to look so similar. Like, I wanted to break it up so there's some color so people's eyes are getting directed towards the castle. I think everyone's eyes would get directed towards the castle regardless, but just to, you know, give that immersion that it's kind of, the castle wall is there, like you can see here on the left. It's there, and then it's kind of hidden. So this little thing here may or may not be here at the end. I have not decided yet. I mean, while looking at the fireworks show, I'm so debating about what's going to happen. But what I wanted to do here in the Magic Kingdom, there's only one stand of these. I do 3 of them. But there are a stand here. It's like a little stage during the day, during the parades, and I think there are a couple other times too. There's like a little show that goes on outside the castle, kind of just to keep people entertained. I mean, Disney is really good at just entertaining guests. They really find out how to entertain guests. But that's what we're kind of doing here during the fireworks show. Like I said, I don't know if we're going to have this in the fireworks show video, depending on how much time I have left with all this other homework and all this other stuff I had to do. But my goal here was to sort of give a little show, the aspect of a show that would go on and get ran here. And then during the firework display, you would see some screens here of Fred, maybe, those sort of things, iconic shots of the park and that sort of thing. And then at the end of the show, it'd like say, thank you for coming, because we will put thank you for coming on the sign. We'll do that in a second. So what I'm doing here is I'm using a bunch of individual building pieces to give a little railing-esque thing, because I don't want anybody to fall off, because of course, the whole goal of the park is not to get sued. So I wanted to make this here so no one could fall off, and I think this turned out really, really well, even though I couldn't rotate it because of the way I was doing it. But I still think it turned out really well, giving you that little safety railing there to give the vibe of, something there, and it still looks quite nice for for the park, just that little bit of detail, that little bit of a royal railing and that sort of vibe. So we're going to go to our last cut here, and then we're going to go into some glamour shots at the end, which I have not recorded, so we'll see how that is. But here is going to be our next cut. 3, 2, 1, go. Yes, perfect timing. So this is the stage transformed again. But before we do anything like that, I wanted to put a couple of these knights walking around. We didn't really use too many of these knights in our park, sadly. But I do want to put some knights there, kind of showing that it's vibing. There's stuff going through. You can see I can actually connect to the walkway now, so guests can go through. But this little bit of detail here was quite a pain to do. I mean, I could not remember exactly how to do it, and I figured it out in the long run. But what we are doing here is we are going to actually place Princess Emily at the top. I've seen this done on Geekism's channel, but what it's done, or how it works, is you take a cast member and you build a little pathway up at the top, as we shown at the French building over there. We place a cast member at the top, and we put the only pathway there, and then drop them onto the walkway. We'll see a little bit of that in a second. That kind of shows that, you know, that somebody's up there, you know, doing their appearance. Obviously, they are quite small because, you know, the scaling of this building is so huge, and the forced perspective making them look really small, making the building even look taller than it actually is. I mean, it's still quite a tall building, but that's what we're doing here. So I want to do a little bit of a different railing. Obviously, cast members do not have the same laws as, you know, as the guests. But up here would be a trained professional that would play Princess Emily, and all they would do would just stand up here and do their little thing. So here we go. We grab her, bring her up to the top. We pay her $2,000 a month, and all she does is stand there for eternity. I mean, that's her only job to do. Now, I did want to do this vibe with the other, these little things down here. So I mean, I do the same thing down here, but with some other cast members. I did want to connect this up because it did not look realistic. I mean, I was sitting there like, there's in between these cuts, I took some time to take a break and think about what I was going to build next. I didn't like just start rushing building everything, because this was a long build over multiple days. So I didn't want to just start rushing, but I wanted to make or have the feeling of, you know, some actual way, you know, cast members can actually get over here during the show. And maybe, you know, they come up here to take pictures or something. I mean, there's not really too many safety railings here. I don't think I record me doing the safety railings. Maybe I do. There was a lot of footage. I mean, there's a lot of footage. I do want to continue this safety railing going around. I mean, it looks so nice. It looks so nice. And the technique of using multiple buildings together really makes stuff come alive, because you would not be able to do this without using multiple building pieces. It just would not be able to be done. And if you guys have any cool suggestions for the future parks, or this park that we can come back to in the future, please let us know in the comment section down below. I read all the comments, or I try to respond. I don't respond to all of them, but I try to read all the comments. And congratulations, or thank you guys so much. Congratulations, I don't know how you would say that, but thank you guys so much. We have reached over well, I think I quoted this a couple times, but we're at 250,000 comments, question mark? I mean, I think we're there, but I mean 250,075,000, something like that. I don't know. A lot. There's a lot of them. There is a lot of them. But I mean, I try my best to read all the comments, and I know you guys, some of you are a little bit sad that I don't read your comments. Or, I mean, I try my darn toothest to read them. On live stream, it's definitely difficult. A fun tip I would love to say, of course, if it's not spammy, instead of saying, hey, read my last comment, can we write, just copy and paste the comment again, but just give it about a couple minutes, okay? Because, I mean, I don't want it to be spammy, but, I mean, I just can't see some of the comments. Of course, maybe I didn't read your comment because there's a bad word in it. Maybe I don't, you know, of course, take that into account as well. So, not to throw people off, but that's what it helps us out a lot easier during a stream. Just, of course, don't keep it spammy, because if it's spammy, I'll eat you out of chat. Don't care who you are. But here, once again, another Zach Daily Games inspired thing. I mean, every time I do flowers, I just think of Zach Daily Games now. But I wanted to do some flowers here to break up the concrete there. I mean, that would be concrete, because it would be permanent. And I think this is the deciding factor of me deleting this thing or not, because I was staring at it for some time. Yeah, there's me looking up at the castle, trying to see it in Tejicam. When I decide to delete the castle, go back, delete the castle, and we delete it. So, long story short, that is deleted. And then pretty much what I do here, I'm just going to cut this out now. I'm just copy that thing up there, bring them down. I mean, that probably won't even make the final cut anyways. So I'm probably going to change that. But we're going to go into some glamour shots here, and I hope you friendlings all enjoyed this time-lapse video. This is going to be the last time-lapse video on this world. This Saturday, or if you're watching this in the future, there will be a fireworks show as well, linked in the description, hopefully put in as a card. somewhere in this video. So please make sure to look at the fireworks show. I mean, I spent so much time on it. Of course, you don't have to watch it as well. I mean, you do you. But I spent so much time on it, I would definitely like you guys to at least watch it. At least once, please. But I hope you all have a great rest of your day. I will see you, friendlings, next time, and I hope this castle met your expectations as they met mine. So thank you, friendlings. Have a great rest of your day. Bye.